someone run past just now. Well, listen, hold on to it. I'll be back for it later.
Hey everybody, PC Outcast here, and here we are with the final build for the Shadow Mage, the Triumvirate Shadow Mage. Well, as you can see, he turned into a beast, and I did not play the Shadow Mage as you would normally play a Shadow Mage. Everybody was like, are you going to sneak? Are you going to be a vampire? No, we went with a heavy armored Nord that didn't sneak around at all. And we still ended up being completely devastating. And in case you were wondering, that whole demonstration was played on Legendary. As you can see, I hardly even took any damage, really. A couple of times take a little bit of damage, but the regeneration, all that absorb is just absolutely ridiculous. So this is build number 2 in the Triumvirate series, and so far I felt like the builds were fairly... Well, this one was fairly strong with the Drain Touch spell, even in the Novice level. But at the Adept level, I felt like it was struggling a little bit, and I had to actually lower the difficulty. But then once we got into the Master level stuff, it was just like the Druid. You end up regenerating so much health and being able to do so much damage that you basically can just wipe out everything the game can throw at you. I mean, Volskega is one of the harder dungeons in the game, and you can see this guy made short work of it. So let's take a look at the final spells. So we ended up with using Ebony Flesh to help buff out a little bit of our... or I should say buff up, not buff out. Yes, buff out a little bit of the kinks in the armor, so to speak, because I was using a Divine Elegance set, and for some reason that doesn't work with honed metal, so I couldn't get Yorland to upgrade my armor, so my armor is really pretty terrible. 174 points for heavy steel armor? I mean, I should have done a lot more than that. It would have been nice, of course, if I had been able to max that out with getting it up to Legendary, or at least Exquisite. I think the last set I had at Exquisite last time I did a honed metal. But anyway, you shouldn't have a problem with that if you decide to either smith your own armor or use a different set that honed metal recognizes. Okay, so we used that. I didn't end up using the Night Gate. I tried this out a little bit, and it's... well, it's... I mean, it kind of works. So here we got, like, 2 gates, and you can sort of do that. I'm not really sure where that comes in handy, other than like moving around some locations, maybe? I don't think you'd be able to target a place above you. So, actually, let's try that. Can I target, like... huh? Okay. You can target a location above you. And it even gives you a little ledge to stand on. Okay, okay. There you go. So you can use it as a way of getting around, basically. Okay, unfortunately, it's only 100 feet. So, in combat, that's kind of not really that useful, because you can always use pull through shadows or step through shadows to get around and fight your enemies and stuff like that. But okay, there's a limited number of places that this would be useful, but it's kind of cool. I guess it's cool. What else have we got? Nightfall. So Nightfall, Pool of Darkness follows the caster for 120 seconds. The caster gains all known Shadow Mage buffs. So you saw that towards the end of the demonstration portion of the video, and as I came outside here, it makes it almost impossible to see anything. It is so dark. So you might want to be careful about what lighting mods you use if you're going to be using that. It's pretty cool though, and I mean the effect is really awesome, but it's a little bit difficult to see at times. And what's the other master level one? Draining Mist. Shadow infused mist that absorbs 45 points of health and magicka for 60 seconds. So this beast, basically you just cast it whenever you want, and you start getting all the magicka back out of the void, pretty much. And it is fairly costly, but I ended up with a lot of magicka. So here I'm sitting at 533 with 452 health, and yeah, it worked out pretty well. And then you throw on Draining Shroud and you absorb from enemies around you. You cast Draining Touch on a few, and as you can see, I was just regenerating health and magicka faster than they could do anything to me. Yeah, so there you go. Those are the spells. So let's take a look at the final perks that I went with. So Destruction, kept it on the low level. I could have put points into the shock magic tree because I did use sparks a little bit. It obviously wasn't necessary in the end. Restoration, that was actually a wasted perk there. Never mind that. Conjuration, I don't think I put anything else in here. I was thinking about... I did get this, the Battle Rage one. This one is for branding corpses, and I wasn't going to do that. And this reduces magic resistance by an additional 30% if you have a summoned Daedra or other non-dead minion. So I ended up not being a summoner and not being a necromancer, so those didn't apply. For illusion, I grabbed just Soul Crusher. Basically, absorb magicka from those that are feared, and within the area of imposing presence, which is 40 feet. For Alteration, I also grabbed I think this is how high I was in the last one. I grabbed Rend Resistances, which reduces the magic resistance of any nearby enemies within 10 feet when you attack them with a weapon. And I also got Nullifier. You radiate a dampening field, preventing enemies from within 25 feet from regenerating magic and stamina. So that comes in really handy against like the heavy hitters, like a lot of those Draugr that are not spellcasters. Also bandits, like high-level bandits, bandit chiefs, and stuff like that. You'll be preventing them from benefiting from their stamina, and they will also like as they do heavy attacks on you, which you then immediately absorb the health back from, they will quickly run out of stamina and not be able to do a whole lot of damage to you. Went super heavy into heavy armor, as you can see. We ended up with pretty much everything. Bedrock with bracing for impact, reduced damage from elemental attacks, Warbringer, which you saw me a couple of times there. When you raise your hands in combat, you get a rallying standard, and the rallying standard improves the effects of your destruction spells. And if you're wearing all heavy armor, 75% less damage from attacks when you're below 15% health. I don't think I ever was even close to that, but that will basically make you almost impossible to kill. We also grabbed Reap the Whirlwind. When you're struck by a power attack or power bash, your attacks deal 125% more damage to the attacker for 5 seconds. Sovereign, when struck by an attack, subsequent attacks are deflected. If wearing all heavy armor, you take 75% reduced damage from attacks for 1 second. Face the Mountain. This happened several times where that one guy was power attacking me with his axe and kept getting knocked to the ground, and then I would try and attack him with my sword and miss because he was like flying through the air. So that works out really well. And Rise Above. If you're wearing all heavy armor, you intimidate enemies within 15 feet. They lose 5% attack damage. you gain 5% attack damage for each enemy affected. So that's nice for when you're surrounded. And also Primal Fear. I had tried to get this to activate, and maybe it doesn't work on Draugr. I didn't walk that much, but if you're wearing all heavy armor, walking but not running towards living enemies. Okay, I should have tested that against the bandits. Within 30 feet in front of you may break their confidence, causing them to flee for 8 seconds. Of course, I was casting Fear quite a bit anyway, so there you go. And one-handed, I think I just finished off with Clash of Champions 3. I think that's it. I don't believe I put any other points into anything, really. I think that's all the points I had. I literally spent them all. So if it hadn't been for the one wasted point in Restoration, I maybe could have grabbed something else, but there's not a lot else to really get with this build, to be honest. Yeah. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the Shadow Mage Triumvirate version, and are enjoying the series too. It's pretty cool. If you haven't checked out the Druid, go back and take a look at that as well. And yeah, we'll see you next time. We're going to be doing the Warlock next. Thanks very much for joining me. See you guys next time.